Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. This is Accounting Nightmare. Welcome Tag, and thanks for your awesome Spyro 3 stream. That was fun to watch. Okay, we're starting pretty late today because I had a grocery delivery that I had to take, and it was a pretty big one, so I didn't want to start the stream and then have to go AFK for 15 to 20 minutes, But that's been done, and now we can start playing video games. Specifically Ace Attorney Investigations. Because we started case 4 yesterday. So I don't know if we'll be able to stream for very long today, but we can at least make a bit more progress in case 4. Continue. I'm happy with our progress so far in this game, actually, because we're up to case 4 and then there's case 5, which I assume is going to be pretty long, but case 4 doesn't seem like it's going to be pretty long, because we had beginning and now we've got the middle, and none of them have been part 1 or part 2, it's just been beginning and middle, so I assume there's 2 more segments to go for this case, middle and end, so. And then case 5, I assume, will be pretty long, but yes. Hey, Dominic Tarrison, welcome. Sleeplessly lurking around, always here for Edgeworth's quest to finally bring the blue badger to justice. Very good. Sorry to hear you can't sleep, but I'm glad you're enjoying my streams. Okay. So we started this case yesterday. This is a flashback case. This is 7 years ago. Back when Edgeworth was a jerk. Well, actually, he's not that much of a jerk, actually. He's kind of nice. He's been very manipulated by a Manfred. Alright, so this is a pretty complicated case, actually. There's like 3 different incidents that are all interwoven. Yeah, so Manfred von Karma is around, the jerk. Right, so there's an incident called the KG8 incident. You know, I really need to refresh my memory on what the heck that even is. Hang on, let's have a look. Cadopian Embassy staff member Manny Cochin found not guilty for the KG8 incident. And the victim is CCU. And she is the sister of this lady. Hang on, where is she? Where are you? There you go. Yeah, sister of this lady. This lady's a defense attorney, and she's just trying to find out what happened. What else happened? Because there's actually kind of a lot that's happened here. Prosecutor of the KGA incident, yeah, so he was just stabbed to death in the same room as this guy who was shot with a handgun. So they were arranged so it looked like they killed each other. But we proved that it seems like there was a third person on the premises. We don't know who it was, but the only suspect at the moment is poor Gumshoe. So we're trying to figure out the truth. Because, I mean, Gumshoe wouldn't kill someone. Come on, it's Gumshoe. Yeah. We saw Kid Faraday, and she's the daughter of this prosecutor. So that sucks. Okay, everyone has to lose their parents in this series. Why? Can't anyone just have a happy family? So, young Franziska's around. She's competing with us to see who can find the truth first. That's the major things. Let's just see what happens. September 10, 4:45 PM, District Court, 3rd floor lobby. Sir, what is to become of the trial into the Cadopian Embassy staff member's murder? Indeed, since both the suspect and the prosecutor are now dead, the case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely. Looks like you'll have to wait just a bit longer for your big debut. Oh yeah, Edgeworth was supposed to prosecute on this trial, but it's been cancelled. Because, you know, people got killed. I suppose it can't be helped. The evidence for this trial will be transferred to you in a little while. Sir, what do you think about the murder of the Cadopian Embassy staff member? And the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell? What an outrageous circus it has all become. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivety. An outrageous circus? Right, sir. I grow weary of this topic. Edgeworth, I will have you assigned to a different case. Papa, you'll come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you? I'll consider it. Wow. You gonna watch your daughter's courtroom debut? I'll think about it. You have food, so you're here? Nice. Very good. Sir, if I may, please allow me to continue with my investigation. Whatever for? I know that there is already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. However, there is not enough evidence to prove that it was he who committed the crime. I'd like to continue investigating in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt. The perfect proof. Don't make me laugh. A worthless person like you has no right to claim such a thing as perfection. Oh, God. I hate him. I hate him. Papa? Who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders? Miles and I, we're competing to see who can find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate a real crime scene is a really rare opportunity. It would give us some real-life experience, wouldn't you agree? If you want to investigate this case that much, then do as you wish. Then you're allowing us to continue? In court, your top priority is to win, and a solid investigation is one of the keys to winning. We have to make sure you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor, don't we? It wouldn't be very interesting otherwise. I'm returning home now. Edgeworth, Franziska, see to it I'm not disturbed, save for the results of your competition. Yes, sir. Of course, Papa. God, he's an asshole. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to swear. I try not to swear. We hate him for all the right reasons. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's written well. He's an evil person. Evil person. Oh, also, I forgot to thank this person. I'm sorry, Blaine, but this person, Blaine, subbed 8 hours ago. Thank you very much, Blaine. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. Franziska, thank you. What are you thanking me for? Your logic earlier was built on that scruffy detective's lie. That means that the competition is still on. Yes, just as you wished. I couldn't let you get off so easily. Now then, let's see how well you fare on the investigation from here, Miles Edgeworth. I know I don't have enough information yet. So my first order of business will be to question anyone involved with this case. Ah, Franziska's our partner. Yay! Hey, Tashiku. Yeah, it would have been nice to get more exploration of his character in the first game. Yes? What is it? Check out my badge. Do you think you can win this competition by simply showing that to me? Not at all. In fact, I was planning to thank you. I wouldn't be a prosecutor today without you and your father. I didn't really do much. You became a prosecutor first, that's all. But just you wait and see, Miles Edgeworth. Very soon, I'll be a prosecutor too. Good. Then we can both send criminals away together as colleagues. But you can be sure that I will always get more convictions than you. It's almost cute that she's going this far to insist that she'll always win. Almost. I wonder how much evidence she wants to talk about. Probably doesn't want to talk about much. The KG8 incident, huh? The defendant was acquitted in that case, but I don't think we've seen the last of it. The fact that he was acquitted on a lack of evidence is just revolting. It's inexcusable. Well, if it was my papa, he would have been found guilty in 3 minutes flat. Yeah, indeed. We would do well to watch and study more from our mentor. Oh. It's so sad seeing them in this state. They've just been so manipulated by Manfred. I wonder if, like, Franziska's competitiveness, I wouldn't be surprised if that was instilled in her from Manfred as well. Since, like, Manfred wants Edgeworth to be as ruthless as he is, because that's his big revenge, is turning Edgeworth into his protege, and then framing him. He's got, like, this horrible long-term plan for Edgeworth. So he also Manfred hates Miles Edgeworth for shooting him in the shoulder and for being Gregory's son. And, meanwhile he's got his own daughter, who he doesn't seem that loving towards, but she's competing because she feels like he has to be better than him because she's the Von Karma. So that's probably Manfred's fault as well. We just blame Manfred for everything. He does love his daughter though? Ah, okay. He was kind of a jerk to her before. When she asked him to be there for her court debut, he was like, "Oh, consider it." He's a jerk. Yeah, he did say yes to her to keep investigating. Yeah, that's true. Makes you appreciate their growth more. Yeah. Yeah, they've both had a lot of emotional manipulation and abuse. So sad. Anyway. So that we may secure a conviction for all those we try. That will be our rule. What's all this we business? Don't lump me in with you, Miles. Any suspect I come across will confess everything to me before we even reach the trial. I'll show you exactly who is the superior prosecutor. Clearly, only one of us is playing to win here. Gumshoe's testimony. I was wondering what you think of this piece of evidence. Asking people for help is breaking the rules, Miles. As I said earlier, this is a competition, a battle of wits. If you want to ask someone for an opinion, you should start with yourself. In other words, you have no real opinions about this piece of evidence, do you? None she wants to share with you, Edgy. Part of her competitiveness also just comes from Edgeworth. She wants to win against him all the time. Ah, okay. I didn't think of it like that. It's one of the weapons in this case. I pity Mr. Faraday. It's bad enough to be killed with evidence that he prepared himself, but to also be killed in a courthouse of all places. And right in the middle of one of the trials he was running too. It just goes to show that nothing in life is predictable. I need some more water. My throat's very dry for some reason. Ah, that's better. Nothing to say about the pen. Bum, 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 bum. Plastic bag. Oh, okay. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, same thing as she said about the knife. Today's trial. It feels like there's a whole backside to this case we're not seeing. And here we had thought that it was a case where the two men had killed each other. We're lacking in information. And as a Von Karma, I can hardly call this a perfect investigation. Indeed, it is as you say. I can't believe we agree on something! Just what is so revolting about agreeing? Anyway, our first move should be to speak with everyone related to this case. Indeed, even if you had not said it, I was planning to do so anyway. Because Edgeworth comes across as just really smug, so I can see why that sets her off. Arrgh! What was that lash for? The transforming courthouse. It's an incredibly detailed model, isn't it? I heard that it cost as much to make that as it cost to build the courthouse itself. What was the point of making such an expensive model? I felt the exact same way upon hearing it. Ugh, it's so hard to understand such foolishness. Agreed. Wow, this thing is so incredibly detailed. My inner modelling fanboy is impressed. I'm not exactly a fan of plastic models per se, but even I can sense the superb quality of this model. I simply cannot comprehend how that man can feel so much love for such a trifle. Oh? I see. You're a disciple of my father, so you would do well to guard yourself against an interest in such unproductive things. Yes, perhaps I should take up whipping people like the young lady over there. Oh, what's happened to this water fountain? I can't stop the water, sir. It seems that the man who was here earlier broke it by drinking from it too much. Bunch of fools who pretended to not see the foolishly foolish actions of a foolish fool. Well then, why don't you lend the officer a hand? As if I should have anything to do with this. Besides, that water-drinking fool's mouth is the thing that officer should be covering. Let's give that officer a description of the water guzzler later. She seems to have quite the grudge. It sounds to me like someone wanted to drink. Miles Edgeworth. Yes? What is the meaning of this bulletin board? Why are there so few trials posted? It would appear that the entire week is devoted to Mr. Rell's trial. Is the crime rate really that low in this country? Or maybe the police lack the proper motivation to get out there and catch the criminals? I'm afraid I can't comment on that. However, I can say I have my doubts about the younger detectives. Sounds to me like they're in need of a stricter hand. And I'll start my discipline regiment with that pathetic, filthy-coated detective. I feel bad for the big guy, and yet I can find no suitable reason to stop her. Feels bad for Gumshoe, but What's the matter, officer? I've been standing here for forever, sir, and I really need to go to the bathroom. Why don't you just make a quick trip? The nearest one isn't that far, is it? No, it's a short way down the hall beyond these doors, but I don't want to be blamed for anything that might happen while I'm gone. So I'm gonna hold it. Perhaps Detective Gumshoe can be a positive influence on the force after all. Sir, nothing to report, sir. Zzz. Is there no one who will make this man take responsibility for his actions on the job? Looks like we have no choice but to report this to Papa. Then this guy can have fun in a waking nightmare after being awakened from his dream. Actually, let's not. I kind of feel sorry for him now. Can't this guy take over for this guy while he goes to the bath? Look how many guards are in here. Like, can't someone cover for this guy while he goes to the bathroom? Hang on. Not sure who to talk to first, so I'll save. In case I accidentally progress the stuff. You know, progress the stuff. All the guards are clearly busy. I love the broken drinking fountain, that's just hilarious. Talk to you. Miss Yu. Oh. I forgot her name was Yu. I didn't mean that as a pun, but it worked out really well. Oh, it's you, Edgeworth. And who are you? Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you? You should be disbarred for not knowing who I am. I am Franziska von Karma, and I am about to become the successor to the family name. About to? I guess that means that for now, you're still just another kid. In which case, it's only natural that I didn't know who you are. What? Why are you whipping me? Anyway, it looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting. I'm terribly sorry, but I have but a few more questions to ask of you. Look at you, eyebrows scrunched with lines on your forehead. And that to ask of you. What exactly is so funny? Sorry, I'm just bad at dealing with a super serious atmosphere. Apparently, they failed to teach you proper behaviour at a crime scene in law school. I feel much better now. So, what is it you wanted to talk about? I'd like to inquire as to where you were at the time of the murder. We were in defendant lobby number 1, The whole time, up until we heard the gunshot. And by we, I mean Mr. Bad. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself. You were with Detective Bad? Why? We had a little something to discuss, that's all. A little something to discuss, eh? That sounds dodge. I've shown you my badge, haven't I? Yeah, I've shown her the badge. She's been badged. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. Seen this dialogue? I wonder when Edgeworth stopped wearing this suit and moved on to another one. Maybe he grew out of it. Handgun! Looks like Mr. Rell was killed by the very gun he used to kill the embassy staff member. You speak of the concept of karma, I assume, and that you take your life into your own hands when you commit a crime, correct? I never thought I'd be dealing with a gun this soon upon becoming a prosecutor. Well, for a veteran like me, they're pretty much par for the course. To be honest, even if it's just once, I've always wanted to try firing one. Hey, is that thing loaded? Do you think I could give it a try right now? No. Don't be ridiculous. This isn't some kind of toy. I was only joking. Duh. Why is it that anything I have to say is a joke to her? Bum, 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 bum. Debut suit. Is that a thing where people wear a suit only for like their debut and then they don't wear it again? That makes sense, I suppose. That would be why he has it framed in his office. Mr. Faraday was killed with this knife, correct? I feel bad for him. Being killed by evidence you prepared yourself is just awful. Miss Yu, what do you think about this piece of evidence? What do I think? Well, other than the blood, it's a very pretty and ornate knife. I'd love to use it as an ornament in my home. If it's alright with you, may I have it? What are you talking about? This is a weapon that was used to kill someone with. Why so serious? I think someone needs to loosen up. There she goes again. She's an interesting character. I think it's just an Edgeworth / Von Karma thing. Probably more Von Karma. That would make sense. Miss Yu, what do you think about this piece of evidence? Okay, nothing to say about that one. God, this music is so good. This would be perfect music for just like reading like mystery novels and such. Yeah, plastic bag. Nothing to say about that? Alright. Guess I can skip through that dialogue now. Gumshoe's testimony. Circumstantial evidence and a motive. It all points to that detective, doesn't it? On top of that, even his testimony turned out to be a lie. Well, that's what you get when you trust a criminal. They're all just liars in the end. All criminals are liars. Well, at least we agree on something. But that detective is telling a lie that is nothing but a disservice to himself. You're really too naive, Edgeworth. You don't understand. If I should leave even the smallest mystery unsolved, I can't really claim to have conducted the perfect investigation. The perfect investigation? Speaking of, I fear that why she laughs when she does is a mystery I may never solve. KG8. My sister was killed in that incident, and the defendant, Manny Cochin, got off scot-free due to a lack of evidence. It's so frustrating. The prosecution was a breath away from putting him away. She's not laughing at this particular topic, although it's to be expected. I can't believe what a forceful face you're making. That face is totally killing me. Well, that moment of seriousness was short-lived. And she would be so annoying to, like, work with. Nothing to say about that. I think that's everything. Detective Bad. So, I take it that you are acquaintances with Detective Bad. Yeah, he was a detective in charge of the KG8 incident. Detective Bad is also related to that incident? That's right. He was the one who was supposed to protect my sister, Cece. But you know how that turned out, don't you, Edgeworth? Miles Edgeworth, I have no idea what you two are talking about. I've heard of the KG8 incident from my papa. But how does that case relate to you, Miss Yu? The victim of that case, CCU, was my little sister. You're making that super serious face again. I'm fine, really. I just make it a point to rub some more salt in his wounded pride every time I see him. The way she talks about doing that as she laughs away is kind of creepy. Oh, speaking of Mr. Bad, he and Mr. Faraday, I'd say they met up just about every single time the Yatagarasu made a move. It was practically a given that the two would meet up at every one of the crime scenes. I see. He did mention that he is in charge of the Yatagarasu investigation earlier. Maybe I should ask her what she knows about the Yatagarasu in more detail. Got lots to talk about with her. You claimed that at the time of the murder you were with Detective Bad. But don't you lawyers usually discuss the trial with your clients during a recess? We do, and that's what I was planning to do. But Mr. Faraday was being rather threatening and he dragged Mr. Rell away. After that, Mr. Bad came into lobby number 1, so we just stayed there and talked. Wait, aren't you supposed to go with your client? You're his lawyer. Are you supposed to go with him to... I don't know what the rights are here. It's a different country. And what did you talk with Detective Bad about? Nothing interesting. I just insulted him some. Talked about how the trial was going, and then I insulted him some more. Bloody... When she's not laughing, her mouth seemingly spews nothing but insults. Anyway, Mr. Bad and I were in defendant lobby number 1 when the murders occurred. So I really can't tell you anything about the hallway or lobby number 2. I see. In AA, the police can just take the defendant away and you can't see them. That's so rude. I'd like to ask you a few questions about your client, Mr. Mackerel. Now, your client first claimed to be the Yatagarasu, is that correct? Yeah. Once I heard that it was the Yatagarasu that had made off with the evidence from KG8, I began to ask Mr. Rell all sorts of questions, but to no avail. Turns out Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu. He had just made that up. He made it up? Mr. Rell's crime was caught on tape by the security cameras. But there is no footage of him sneaking into the Cadopian embassy itself. Hold on for just 1 second. Then, you mean to say that you knew that he was not the real Yatagarasu? And that he was just another cold-blooded killer? And you were ready to defend him? Yes, that's right. I see. So a defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job is to cover for criminals. That's why defense lawyers are so detestable. But they are no match for us Von Karmas. I don't believe it. You're serious? Why don't you save that face for something really worth being serious about? And Edgeworth, do you remember what I said earlier? I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG8 incident, alright? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer? Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rell was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. I'm sorry. Forgive my rashness. Miss Yu, I was wondering if you could tell me about the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu, huh? I don't really know much about that character myself. But I do get a lot of consultation requests from companies to defend them. Requests from companies? The Yatagarasu isn't some petty thief out for money, you know. Alright then, perhaps the Yatagarasu is in the business of stealing people's lives? You're not very funny or witty, are you, little Miss Von Karma? Grr! Franziska, be careful about who you whip. Choose carefully or we may be sued by... There, I chose carefully, just like you wanted. Hmm? That just now was hilarious, little missy. Of course it was. What is wrong with these two women? Why does my pain give them delight? And? So, in the end, what is the Yatagarasu? I have to say, I had never even heard of this thief when I was in Germany. The Yatagarasu deals in information, namely in digging out dirt about backroom dealings and the like of companies. The Yatagarasu is a vigilante who steals such info and then makes it public for all to see. Vigilante or not, this person sounds like just another criminal to me. I suppose you could put it that way too. But either way, I get a lot more clients now, thanks to that thief. Sounds like Miss Yu is profiting nicely. I suppose I've gotten all I can out of Miss Yu. I should move on and speak with Detective Gumshoe now. Let's go out the door. Nope, okay. It's a bookshelf. What's this? Judge's Trial Exchange Log? It appears to be a journal where the various judges share their thoughts and ideas. The real daily lives of the judges are laid out here on these pages. There's nothing about the court in here. It's just page after page of unrelated drivel. Judging by the content, they are very enthusiastic about the courthouse's daily menu. And it would appear that fried oysters are a favourite. I have no use for such foolishly foolish words from that foolishly foolish crowd. Someone please assure me that this is not the true state of this country's judiciary. Sorry, Edgy. Detective Gumshoe. Hey, it's you, pal. You're here. Ouch. As am I. I don't think you needed to whip him to let him know that. I didn't do it, pal. I swear on my honor as a detective. I really didn't. Your words are useless. I place my trust only in the evidence, detective. Once the investigation is fully over, and should we find out that you are the killer, there will be no mercy to be had for you. I have a heart, pal. But you're not worried, right? After all, you have nothing to worry about. If you really are innocent, that is. That's right. Hey, pal, go and do your perfect investigation and get the real killer for me, will ya? I would have done so, even had you not requested me to, detective. The Final Fantasy VIII Remaster comes out on September 3rd. Ooh. Very cool. Have they announced it for PC as well, or is it just PlayStation 4 at the moment? That does not look like how a young Franziska should look, TBH. Oh, okay. Also, welcome, King Brolly. PC, PS4, Xbox, and Switch. Nice. Very nice. I have to let my boyfriend know. He likes FF8. Welcome, Shizzle. Welcome to the stream. I haven't been going for very long, actually, because I started pretty late because we had a grocery delivery I had to wait for. It was a pretty big one, so it took like 20 minutes to deal with, so... We've kind of just started with talking to people, and that's kind of all that's happened so far. Sugar my badge. I'd like to ask you a little about this. I'm not saying a peep, pal, because I'm not the killer, okay? You misunderstand. I wasn't going to ask you about that. All I've ever wanted to do was to become a detective, pal, so I'd never want to be a killer. It seems that he doesn't want to talk about anything unrelated to his predicament. Now let's ask him about the gun. No? Okay. About his testimony. He's definitely lying about something, we just don't know what yet. So, you were guarding the door to lobby number 2 at the time of the crime, correct? Yeah, that's right. And I'll have you know, not even a single ant got by me. Really? Are you sure not even a single ant slipped in? Well, guess if we're talking about slipped in, then maybe a frog or something did. It would appear that my point also completely slipped you by, Detective. Boom, boom, boom. Anything to say about KG8? Oh, okay. Big grocery delivery. How much KFC was that? I think you know what you'll be doing after FF12. Nice. That would be cool. I'd like to see FF8. So, you and Mr. Faraday had a small meeting last week, did you? And what exactly did you do to make him so angry? I just asked Detective Bad the same thing myself, pal. Turns out he was mad at me because on my very first day as a detective, I reported in at my usual post instead of the Criminal Affairs Department. By the time I got down to the Criminal Affairs, I was really, really late. And that's when he gave me that huge speech. I remember doing the same exact thing in elementary school. On the first day of school every year, I'd always wind up going to my old classroom. How pathetic for the detective to be compared to a mere schoolchild. You claim to be standing guard in front of the door to the lobby number 2 during the recess. However, when did you receive the order to do so, and from whom? Earlier, at around 3:20, and from Detective Bad, pal. Today's trial took a really crazy turn, so I was told to make sure nothing happened to Mr. Faraday. And yet, something did happen to him, correct? It looks like it was a total waste of manpower to assign you to guard duty. Ow! Your words sting worse than your wit, pal. So it was Detective Bad who ordered him to stand guard, huh? Now then, Detective Gumshoe. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me? Nope, not a thing, pal. In that case, allow us to take a look at what you are carrying on your personage. Ah! Wait! You can't do that! There's nothing of any particular value here. Well, my handcuffs and badge were confiscated by Detective Bad, so, you know. And what is that open envelope I see sticking out of your coat pocket? Ah, hands off, pal! Just show it to us already! No. Annual bonus check within, $5 total. Except there is no check inside. Annual bonus, $5. You've had your look, now give it back, pal! It's my first bonus as a brand new detective. I just got it and cashed it today. I had literally no cash on me up until I did, you know. So that envelope is really special to me. Now give it back! You don't need rubbish like this. Don't worry, we'll throw it away for you later. Oh, how good you. Aw, that's so mean. Wait, it's evidence apparently. How could that be important? I'm sorry, but I need to take him in for questioning now. I think I've asked him just about everything I needed to. No, wait. Since he became a suspect, there is one piece of evidence I should reconfirm. Officer, I ask that you wait a second. I still have one thing I'd like to reconfirm with Detective Gumshoe. Understood, but please make it brief, sir. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. I must confirm whether or not his testimony about when the crime occurred is the truth. Ah, I thought I already showed him that. Check out his envelope. Detective Gumshoe's annual bonus of $5. Literally had no money on him until he cashed this. That's like 10 packs of doodles. 10 days worth of food for Gumshoe. Ah, okay. It's good that they're remastering it then, Tag, so you can stream it. Very cool. I guess I'll show him his testimony again. You told me earlier that you heard no sound other than the gunshot out in the hallway. Is that correct? No mistake about it, pal. Then you are also claiming that no one passed through the hallway either. Is that also correct? Yep, not even a single ant passed through that hall while I was on duty. You do realise that the lie you're telling is only making life more difficult for yourself. Huh? Oh. But it's true. I didn't see anyone go through the hallway, and I didn't hear anything else, pal. I bet the killer found a way to kill the two guys that's beyond what I can even imagine. So he intends to continue telling this ridiculous lie. But why would he do so, given the situation he's in? I believe a thorough investigation of the hallway in front of the defendant lobbies is in order. Yep. You! Oh my god. Wow. Game of the year. If you missed what just happened, little K just snuck up on Edgeworth and kicked him in the butt. Literally kicked him in the butt. Yeah. How could you have not noticed that coming? Wasn't that the child I changed money for earlier? Thanks! That's exactly what I needed. Kids can sometimes be so cruel. It looks like she dropped something. Swiss roll. Okay. Maybe we should arrest the girl. She might turn out to be a valuable lead. I believe some sort of punishment may need to be dealt the next time we meet. You got up to straight. Yeah, little K snuck up on Edgeworth and kicked him in the butt. Literally kicked him in the butt. But we have no idea why. She just came along and kicked him in the butt. I believe I've asked all that I need to of this man. Now, for Detective Bad and the judge. We have to confirm who is correct, the judge or that scruff face, right? I suppose we should inspect the hallway in front of lobby number 2 next, then. I suppose so. Shall we head on over, Franziska? May I have a word with you, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, what in the world am I supposed to do, pal? I don't think he'll be of much use right now. Let's continue with the investigation. I suppose so. I propose we go and inspect the hallway he was standing guard in next. Or we could run around and talk to everyone again. Nothing new. She wants her dollar back. But we did change. We exchanged change. Exchanged change? Swiss roll. Swiss roll dropped by the mysterious young girl. Says courthouse special on it. Courthouse special Swiss rolls. Is this being sold somewhere on the premises? I don't recall seeing a restaurant of any sort in this courthouse. I somehow doubt you'd find junk food like this on a restaurant menu, Franziska. But there was a vending machine, so that's probably where it came from. Well then, where do they sell these things, huh? A convenience store, I suppose. Well, I'm sure there's no convenience store in this courthouse, Miles Edgeworth. Grr. Where in the world did this come from? And here. There. What did she buy off him again? Oh, she gave change. She wanted change for $1. And she gave us a bunch of like dimes and stuff, and we gave her $1, a dollar note. You still sleeping, buddy? Yep. Still sleeping. Ooh. Finally, you can walk around the courtroom. Any day now, I'll be taking my rightful place behind this bench. By that time, I should already be standing here. It'd be downright disgraceful if I beat you to it, wouldn't it? If that were to happen, Franziska, I'll eat my cravat. Bet she's a drug dealer and Edgy just helped her launder money. It's the defense attorney's bench. I'd probably be standing on this side of the courtroom if that incident hadn't happened. What are you thinking about? Lately, the more wrinkly your face becomes, the less I'm able to read what you're thinking. Well, I'll have you know I don't have a single wrinkle upon my youthful brow. Yes, what is it? That Scruff-Face's movements during the recess are really suspicious. Oh, I suppose you noticed it too, then. Of course I did. Scruffy is giving us a testimony that is nothing but harmful to himself. Normally, criminals would tell the opposite type of lie in an attempt to escape. Yes, that is exactly the same point I'm having trouble understanding. It seems that I need to expose what he was really up to during the recess. And to do that, I should head to the hallway where he was supposedly standing guard. Bum, 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 bum. It's the witness stand. I'll make sure that each and every person that ever stands here will be found guilty. There are others besides the defendant that stand at this podium, you know. I don't care. Just make sure you never end up standing at one of these. Or you'll be sorry. I'll keep that in mind. Bum, 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 bum. You can stand behind the bench. Better off dead jokes. What's better off dead? It's the viewing gallery. This is where the riffraff sit when they come to watch. It's situated at the same height as the judge's bench. I wonder if that's to represent the intense scrutiny of each and every case from all sides. Miles Edgeworth, are you or are you not man enough to stand up to all those eyes? What sort of... Of course I'm man enough. That was some weird dialogue. Oops. No, I didn't want to go back. Bum, bum, bum. The same dialogue over here? Yeah. What is this bench? Is this where the defendant sits? Probably. And there's two seats. I don't know. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah! This must be the judge's desk. You can tell by the gavel sitting on top. I had a dream once that I was being squashed from above by this gavel. You're such a weakling, Miles Edgeworth. You have no idea how frightening it was. Bum, bum, bum. Sit in the chair. The judge's chair. It must be wonderful to be able to sit the whole time. Yes, as opposed to us prosecutors and defense attorneys who have to stand. I think it'd only be fair if the judge had to stand the whole time too. His Honor is an old man. He should be afforded some comforts. Fine, he can enjoy his chair, but he'll share in our pain through my lashes. I fear for the judge if Franziska were to ever become a real prosecutor. That's where they put down evidence. Ah, okay. That makes sense. Okay, so that's where we want to go. What's through here? This area is restricted to authorized personnel only, sir. If I'm not authorized personnel, then what, may I ask, do you think I am? The younger sibling of a dysfunctional relationship? I'm not the younger one, he is. Now get that straight in your head. I believe there is a more objectionable part you should be upset over, Franziska. Bum, 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 bum. Better Off Dead is a movie. The $2 thing is because when the paperboy came by, asking for his $2, Lane refused him, saying they didn't have any cash. So the paperboy keeps stalking him and chasing him for the rest of the movie, trying to get his $2. Oh wow. Jeez. September 10, District Court, hallway. So, did you see anything else? No, I don't think so. I see. Well, thanks for your cooperation. Oh, it's nothing. Just doing my duty as a defender of the law. That'll be all for now. I'll ask again if I have any other questions. Any time, Detective. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a few loose ends I have to tie up. Oh, you're that new prosecutor Mr. Von Karma recommended, right? My name is Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. And I'm Manfred Von Karma's daughter, Franziska Von Karma. I am set to become the successor to my genius father any day now, Your Honor. I see, Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Dark. I bit my tongue. Are you all right, Your Honor? Please feel free to refer to me as just Miss Von Karma, Your Honor. As for him, just Edgeworth is fine. Apparently somebody doesn't feel that I'm worthy of a proper title. Oh. Very well then. I shall call you Miss Von Karma and Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Your Honor, Mr. Edgeworth is fine, sir. Now, about your earlier testimony. Yes, what about it, Mr. Edgeworth? I would like to ask you a few questions about what exactly you saw. All right. After all, it's my duty to clarify my testimony as a defender of the law. I greatly appreciate your cooperation, Your Honor. Now, the first thing I will need to do is figure out the detective's exact movements. Begin investigation! The judge shouldn't be walking around. He should be transported about in a motorized golden throne. Yes. I'll talk to the judge first. Your Honor, I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. Where were you at the time of the murder? Do you suspect me of something? No, nothing of the sort, Your Honor. Very well. You may continue with your testimony. Your Honor, it's your testimony I'm after. Oh! I had no idea you were chasing after me or my testimony. I'm beginning to sense that I might want to avoid being in a trial run by this judge. Check my badge! Today's trial may have ended abruptly, but we will meet again. I'm looking forward to that day, Mr. Edgeworth. When I become a prosecutor, you might even see me in your courtroom a few times. I hope you'll treat me with even greater respect than now. I only ask that you please do not bring a whip into my courtroom. I'm afraid that issue is not up for negotiation. As long as the whip can't reach his seat, I'm sure His Honor will be safe. I think. Your Honor, I'd like for you to please take a look at this piece of evidence. Very well. The court will accept this into evidence. No, wait! That's not what I showed it to you for! Mr. Edgeworth, if I may, I suggest you bone up on court procedure a bit more. When evidence is shown before me, it goes into evidence. That is the law of the court. Your Honor, I'm sorry to say this, however, that rule does not apply to the outside world. Come to think of it, I suppose court is not in session right now. Being passionate about one's work is one thing, but to confuse it with real life. It's good. Everything in this universe is testimony. Welcome to McDonald's, may I take your testimony? That's good. Let's see here. Now then, how should I put this? When you get to be my age, you need to pay more frequent visits to the restroom. If you go take a look through the window at the end of this hall, you'll see a small window. That is the window to the men's restroom. In other words, you can see clearly into this hallway from the men's restroom. When I was going into the restroom, that detective, Gumshoe is it? Well, he was standing in front of the vending machines buying something from it. However, and this I couldn't believe, when I was about to exit the restroom, there was not a soul in the hallway anymore. Your Honor, if you could please calm down and explain it to me rationally. Oh, I'm really sorry. Please let me regain my composure. It was really suspicious. That's what my finely honed judge's intuition said. Although, well, until the murders occurred, I just sort of brushed it off. Apparently, this judge doesn't understand the concept of staying calm. That's probably all I'm going to find out from His Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, may I return to my other duties now? Yes, I'm sorry to have held you up. Thank you for your cooperation, Your Honor. Anytime, Mr. Edgeworth, anytime. The judges in this country seem rather friendly. Yes, if not a little wishy-washy. However, I hear that they are known to hand down very fair verdicts. I bet he was having a nap on this bench. I bet. Clearly he went inside the vending machine. It would appear that this vending machine sells snacks and various other foods. Just lovely. What will they think of next? Don't be a jerk in court like these beef jerks. 1 packet for $9. Defendant's fresh milk. 1/2 pint for $7. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these for $6. They're awfully overpriced. The lineup is simply awful. Period. Speaking of snacks, I wonder if that Swiss roll the little girl dropped is from this machine. I was wondering about that myself. Hot dog. When you're in hot water, you might need a hot dog. It looks like this slogan was decided through a public contest. And the winner was Prosecutor Winston Payne. What a pathetic slogan. No presents at all. Now, if it was up to me, it would read, if you leave matters in a Von Karma's hands, everyone in court will be found guilty dogs. Overruled. Don't be a jerk in court like these beef jerks. I see. Hey Scurvy Kip, thank you for the raid. How are ya? A $7 hot dog from a vending machine. Yeah, that's low. Mars Edgeworth, wouldn't you agree that it's a very clever pun? Do you really think they put that much effort into the product name? Even a foolish fool can understand the foolish thinking of the fool who made it up. You're acting so foolishly that I got so thoroughly mad, and I'm now utterly famished. If you wanted a packet of these, all you had to do was ask like a normal person. You just finished playing as Wing Diver and killed God with airstrikes. In EDF? Nice. Pizza vending machines? No, I haven't seen those. Don't let the prosecution and the defense make a ham sandwich out of you. It sounds like it's directed at that ham of a judge. Well, it certainly isn't directed at me. I can outmaneuver him any day. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. The end of what? Well, I assume it means the end of the trial. I suppose this means that one should eat these during a recess? You can't eat during a trial, so I suppose the only time you can eat them is now, huh? I wouldn't mind if you wanted to eat one now. They come in packs of 2, after all. We're in the middle of an investigation. Besides, I don't have $6 on me. If you want, we can pool our money and buy a pack together. If I have to split it with you, then I don't want it. No. Defendant's fresh milk. What exactly is that supposed to mean? I bet it means that the milk is freshly milked by various defendants on trial right now. No, I think it might mean that this was milked right here, from the various defendants. What? Mars Edgeworth? You can't possibly be serious. Of course not. What? What was that? When it's looking bad, blind your opposition with some OJ. Are they promoting violence? Don't worry, my whip will make sure that anybody following this advice won't be for long. Compared to the sting of a whip, the sting of orange juice may not be so bad. Yeah, this dialogue is hilarious. I want just an anime of just Edgeworth and Franziska hanging out. I can't look at any of this stuff. How about the drinks? Can we look at the drinks? It doesn't look like there's anything contradictory left in this area. I suppose not. Perhaps I should check somewhere else. I wanted some funny dialogue on the drinks. Did you find something, officer? I think there's a $5 bill back there. Come on, just a little more. Is there no one working this crime scene who isn't a total waste of living tissue? Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a single person we can deem useful here. How about you? Have you found any suspicious fingerprints, officer? Nope. Just the fingerprints of those involved with the case, sir. I guess we know all of the players in this case then, huh? It would appear that way. But I have the nagging feeling that we're missing something. And I suspect that what we're missing is hiding right here in this crime scene somewhere. Can we go through the door? No? Okay. He's making a most ridiculous looking face. That may be, but at least he doesn't look like someone who would tell a lie on purpose. I suppose, but to a von Karma, evidence is the only thing that carries any weight. Of course. At any rate, this poster seems to be of no use to us right now. There are no signs that this fire extinguisher was used in the crime. If you could already tell from a distance, then why are you wasting your time examining it? Franziska, let's not try to rush absolute genius. You like how they both do the folding arm pose? Yeah, that's cool. Your donuts were cheaper and tasted much better. I want some donuts now. I want some donuts. What's in the trash? Nothing? Okay. I won't rest until blah 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 blah. So, that window on the other side belongs to the men's restroom. I can't see it. At your height, I'm not surprised. No. I guess short people have feelings too. Yes. Yes we do, Edgy. Same thing. You were hoping if I searched the trash that Gumshoe would pop out. The ants are hard at work carrying their food home. It's a marvel that they can pick up such comparatively large objects to their size. Well, if you want to carry the mighty von Karma name and not be squished under it, you'd better work extra hard, just like these ants. The same goes for you, Franziska. What's this? This looks pretty dodgy. What is this? It's a pink-coloured piece of trash, made of rubber. Rubber? What? I feel like I've seen something like this before. Well, all I see is a piece of garbage. But you know, the fact that there is a litterer running loose inside this courthouse, it's simply unforgivable. Ark! It's not like it was I who littered. Rubbish belongs in a rubbish bin. Grr! What's this, a cactus? Grr! What's the matter? I pricked myself on one of these cactus's needles. I didn't think the needles on this thing would be so sharp. Well, what did you expect? Can you imagine how bad it would be if you were hit on the head by one of these? Anyway, this cactus seems to be unrelated to our case. Do you really think so? Because I believe that this cactus sitting on this windowsill is completely related. Okay. Oh? Well then, I look forward to your explanation on how exactly it is related. Don't think there's anything else up here. We got a handprint. The dirt on this bench. It smells like some sort of sweet substance. I can't believe there is someone going around dirtying the courthouse. For shame! Calm down, Franziska. Now, take a good look. Doesn't this smudge look kind of like a handprint to you? I suppose it could be. Which means that perhaps we can lift the prints of the person who sullied this bench. I see. And then we'll know the identity of a mystery slob. You there, the lab technician. Could you please find out who this handprint belongs to? Sir, yes sir. I've got the results of the fingerprint analysis, sir. And do we know who they belong to? Gumshoe. Sir, the fingerprints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Oh, interesting. Good work, officer. Spray luminol on it, yeah. Faraday was stabbed and there's a cactus right there. Now we know the real criminal. And there you have it. Yes, I suppose so. Now we know the identity of the person who dirtied the bench. I sense that you and I will be using this information in very different ways. Ants are pouring out of the hole in this bench as well. I wonder if the inside of this bench consists of nothing but ants. Don't you dare continue with that gross line of thought! I'm sorry. What are these black speckles? I believe it's a pile of ants eating away. Oh, that detective! He claims that not a single ant slipped by him. And yet, here is a whole hill of them. Grr! What are you hitting me for? As a replacement for that pathetic detective. Perhaps I should add this deduction to the detective's growing tab of pay cuts. Anyway, I wonder what the ants are eating. From the look and sweet smell of it, pieces of cake and chocolate from a Swiss roll. Miles Edgeworth! The courthouse is to be kept pristine at all times! Okay, she's going a bit overboard. It wasn't me that dropped food on the ground. The courthouse must be kept clean! No. Doubt that we'll say anything different about the ants, huh? Yeah. He ate a snack and took a nap. Yeah. Can Gumshoe even afford to have fingerprints on his salary? That is funny. I already checked this area earlier. Okay, so it means we got everything here. Who doesn't want an ant bench? Yeah! Detective Bad, I have something I wish to inquire about. Hey! How about doing some actual work, you? I wish to inquire into Detective Gumshoe's movements during the recess. You're getting in the way of the investigation. I have an order from Mr. Von Karma himself. Plus, I still hold investigative authority. There. What can I show to you? Have I shown you my badge? Probably. Does showing that off make you feel like a big, strong prosecutor? Oh, of course not. I was simply proving my title of prosecutor to you. I see. But most prosecutors don't go around flaunting those things. It's like a detective walking around outside with his badge flashing in the sunlight. Show that off too much, and before you know it, you'll be elbow deep in angry criminals. That would definitely be a problem. What can I show you? Hey, Swiss roll. Detective Bad, I'd like to ask you about this piece of evidence. What a narcissist. I'd rather look at his face than the evidence. Don't trust your eyes all the time, little girl. I can see the evidence, and keep an eye on the two of you with this mirror. What? Then why don't you answer? Because I've got nothing to say. That's all. Understood. Why couldn't you have just said that at the beginning? So I hear you were the one who called for Detective Gumshoe to come down here. Faraday. That guy was just accused, you know. I just knew something was gonna happen. My detective's instinct told me. A lot of good it did you. You couldn't even protect one lone prosecutor with it. Franziska, I think you need to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry, Detective Bad. Please continue. God, his eyes are terrifying. I used the phone on the first floor and called the precinct. I told them to send somebody over. And that detective's the one that showed up. And only upon his arrival did you set Detective Gumshoe to stand guard, Detective Bad? Yeah, I waited for him on the first floor. After he got here, we came up to these defendant lobbies together. As we entered this hallway, we ran into you. She told us that Faraday was really mad, and that he'd dragged Rel off to lobby number 2 to have a word or something. And that Faraday had said to not let anyone interrupt them. So what choice did I have? All I could do was tell the big lug to stand guard outside. And around what time did all of that take place? Let's see. I think it was about 30 minutes before I heard the gunshot. After giving the big lug his assignment, he never left the hallway. Not once. Oh? And how can you make such a claim? One of the guards out in this floor's main lobby swore to me he didn't. If the detective never left the hallway, then where did he disappear off to? That's simple. He must have gone into lobby number 2, just as I suspected. You and I, we were in lobby number 1 next door. The only one without an alibi is Gumshoe. It would seem that I am still missing some key pieces of information. Was he going to pull out a gun on Franny? I don't know. He keeps like faking pulling out the gun, then pulling out the mirror instead, so I think he's just intimidating people. His coat looks like he used a large hole puncher to make it look like he has bullet holes in it. Yeah, actually. It does, doesn't it? Oh, and his tie too. He's got a couple holes in the tie. Detective Bad, you also heard the gunshot, did you not? Yeah. I heard it when I was in defendant lobby number 1. That's why I came running towards lobby number 2 together with you. How much time elapsed between you hearing the gunshot and your arrival on the scene? Less than a minute. What were your movements upon hearing the gunshot? I grabbed the big lug, who was just walking around in the hall, and raced into lobby number 2. And that's when we discovered the bodies. In that order. That makes you the discoverer of the crime scene, right? Yeah, I guess it does, little miss. I'm about to become a prosecutor very soon. You will treat me with the dignity I deserve, or else. You wave that thing around anymore. And I'll have you arrested for obstruction, little miss. You wouldn't dare. Just joking. If he did, then Von Karma would totally fire him. Manfred Von Karma, that is. Detective Bad is really something if he can make Franziska behave. Are we about done? Is there anything else I should ask him about? Oh, I want to ask about all these things. Von Karma is the kind of guy who'd allow his daughter to be found guilty, and he'd prosecute the case to boot. Oh. Can't ask about everything. Go one by one. I'd like for you to tell me the exact time you heard the gunshot. It was around the end of the recess, and the trial was about to start again, I think. He was supposed to make time for himself to transfer the evidence he was holding. But I got the sense he wasn't going to show for the handoff. So I figured I should go get him, or he'd be late. And just as I thought that, bang! The sound of a gunshot hit my eardrums. So he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to restart, huh? Okay. Are we done here? I don't have any time to waste. Oh, come on. All you're doing is standing in front of this door, doing nothing. I get the sense that he is somewhat investigating this crime scene. Or rather, that he is keeping us under surveillance. But to what end? Detective Bad, may I ask that you cooperate with us for just a bit longer? I don't have anything else to say. To the two of you. You guys were the ones who said you wanted to investigate in the first place. Fine then, be obstinate. We'll just do as we please. Come on, Miles. You may no longer be willing to help us, however, may I ask for the forensic scientist's cooperation? Do as you like. Can I ask him anything else about that gunshot? Let's find out. We got his testimony, so I wonder if the other two were the wrong answers. Ask about the gunshot again, see if we end up with that again. The animations. Okay, I can ask about the other things. Place he heard the gunshot. Detective Bad, where were you when you heard the gunshot? How many times are you going to ask that? I was in defendant lobby number 1 when I heard the gunshot. It's exactly the same as what he said earlier when I asked. Now, get out of here. You're getting in the way. I'm not through questioning you yet. I'd like to know a little more about the circumstances under which you heard the gunshot. Like I said, I was in lobby number 1 with you. I have nothing else to add. Well, his testimony certainly corroborates what Miss Yu said. Miles, you already asked him about that, remember? I suppose I should ask about something else. Okay. We picked the right one first. Fast forward. Alright. Okay, so what do we get out of that? We got his testimony. Let's take a look at this new stuff. Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints. Left on the hallway bench. Black smudge emits the scent of sweet sugar. And Detective Bad's testimony. He heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. Okay. So I love that his name's Detective Bad, and I hope it's like a red herring, and I hope he's not actually bad. That'd be pretty good. Okay, what have we got in the logic bin? We got a lot here. Lobby number 2 window. Pink piece of trash. What is this from? It's rubber. Vending machine. We'll put the Swiss roll crumbs together with a vending machine. These bits of chocolate and cake, could they not have come from a Swiss roll? A Swiss roll? Why would a courthouse sell a thing like that? It may not seem like the right venue. However, it is being sold right over there. The vending machine. Ah, I see. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. 2 for $6? Talk about expensive. Leaving the fact that it's on the expensive side aside, the fact that the cake crumbs and chocolate bits were found in this hallway suggests that they came from a Swiss roll that was purchased from this machine. I think I have a pretty clear picture of what happened here now. Naturally. After all, I'm here, aren't I? Detective Gumshoe must have sat on this bench as he ate a Swiss roll. And as he ate, he dropped it on the floor and sullied the bench. Maybe the ants killed those two guys. Ants are known for using guns. Hey buddy car, how are ya? How could he have not cleaned up after himself? How utterly despicable. Don't you dare whip me again. It wasn't I who made the mess in the first place. Anyway, if it was indeed Detective Gumshoe who brought the Swiss roll, that creates a rather interesting contradiction of facts. A contradiction? Where? I think another look at the special courthouse vending machine is in order. These are more yeah, he didn't have any money on him, he claims. He only got $5, but these are more expensive. A kitty. Hello, kitty. Is it dinner time for you yet? Close. I could feed her soon. Maybe. If she's cute enough. Poor Gumshoe using his bonus to treat himself to an expensive snack. Yeah, these are so overpriced. I'm glad to hear you're good, buddy Cart. We've got a game over here yet, have we? We haven't got the Gumshoe game over, where he gets found guilty. Hey, Cookies Forever, welcome! That's a cute emote. A raven. That's cool. I won't rest until blah blah blah. The juice with my badge. My badge. Let's get a game over here. Eureka! There's clearly a contradiction here. Do you think so? I think there is one. I think there should be one. Do not anger me with a foolish game of semantics, Miles. Grr. Grr. I'd better look a bit more carefully through my evidence once again. The juice with my badge. I'm gonna get a game over. I do like how you get different dialogue depending on who your partner character is. That's cool. Eureka, it's my badge. Or maybe we just get the same game over as earlier. We'll find out. Won't take long. My badge. Check out my badge. Afraid I can't let the two of you mess things up any more than you already have. So don't get me wrong, but get out. But I have an investigation to run. I don't care if you do or don't. The fact is that you're in my way. You there. Take these kids outside. Sir, yes sir. Oh, we got kicked out. And then Edgeworth probably got whipped 1,000 times for that. Because she got kicked out too. Okay. Swiss rolls are $6, but he only had $5. There. Eureka! About Detective Gumshoe's finances, he said that until this morning, he didn't have even a single penny on his personage. Just how poor is that guy? If his bonus really was only $5, then he should not have been able to purchase a pack of Swiss rolls. However, facts being as they are, we found cake crumbs on the floor. Meaning Scruffy must have bought a pack somehow. Indeed. The detective should not have been able to purchase a pack, and yet he did. The question is, how? Okay. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so this was... The fingerprints are updated. Left on the hallway bench. Detective Gumshoe apparently sat here as he ate a Swiss roll. And Swiss roll. Dropped by a mysterious young girl, it's priced at 2 for $6. So I'm assuming he met Kay, and Kay offered to give him $1. And she probably had one and he had one. Yeah, they probably split them. That's my theory. Alright, now what? Ooh, new dialogue. This is a pretty spacious hallway, but it's nothing compared to the ones at home. Indeed, because Mr. Von Karma's house is a bit too spacious. However, even with this much space, there's nowhere for that scruff face to hide. Well, other than the crime scene just beyond those doors. Franziska, I believe it's much too early to draw any conclusions. It was already proven that Detective Gumshoe was in this hallway the entire time. Now all we need to do is gather more information. And to do that, I'll just have to examine everything I see here for myself. Gumshoe is a good man. Yeah, he's totally the kind of guy who would split his money to... who would split food with a kid. We've gathered so much information, but they feel like just random fragments to me. I wonder what really happened here. Random fragments. No matter how unrelated they may seem at first, they might actually fit together somehow. I grow tired of your inner monologues. Say something! No! I'm going to end up in pieces thanks to that whip before I can piece the logic together. So can we leave to go talk to Gumshoe? Oh, they won't let me. No, I was going to ask him about the Swiss roll. Alright. Anything else to look at here? Already checked this area earlier. Okay. Nothing else to see here. Nothing to see here. Move along. Dun, dun, dun. There wasn't anything to look at here, right? Yeah, already checked this area. Nothing there. What else can we look at? Yeah, maybe we talk to Go. Show you something. Fingerprints. Detective Bad, I'd like to ask you about this piece of evidence. Nope. That's a nope. You're wondering if you should show off Armello sometime. You do have it on your PS4. Yeah, that'd be cool. I wouldn't mind seeing how that game plays. Actually, no, I saw Giant Bomb play it, but it's been a while. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing more of that game. Ask you about your testimony? It's just as I said. I have nothing further to add. But if there's one thing a detective honors, it's that. You must have confidence in and take responsibility for anything you say. That's what it means to be a detective. In other words, you're just another stubborn horse, aren't you, detective? Did I ever look at his testimony? He heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. Okay. Well, I guess there's some more logic to piece together. The logic button! Lobby number 2 window. Pink piece of trash. And cactus. Maybe this got caught on the cactus. Whatever it came from. Yeah. This pink rubbery substance. I saw this in a different form earlier today. I believe this is a piece of a popped balloon. I suppose that's possible. The balloon probably got a little too close to our friend, the windowsill cactus. That would be the logical conclusion, yes? Balloon piece. Okay. Investigation complete! Do-do-do-do. I believe I now have a very firm grasp on what happened here. Well, I do too. Sure you do. Alright, Franziska. Would you care to share what conclusions you've come to? But why should I do that? We're still in the middle of a competition, you know. We should be checking to see if your conclusions are wrong first. So you go ahead. It's almost cute that she's going this far to ensure that she wins. Almost. Very well. But first, we need to pay His Honor a visit to correct his testimony. To correct someone's testimony, eh? 5:15 PM, courtroom number 3. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to test your witness testimony to see how it stands up. Do you doubt me? Am I your new suspect? In a sense, I suppose you could say that. Even you, a judge, is nothing but a common witness before a von Karma. Silence in the courtroom! Silence, I said! Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred von and Miss... Well... You bit your tongue again, didn't you? As a defender of the law, I could never give false testimony. You can even place me under oath if you want. Very well then. Your testimony, if you please. Bum-ba-da-bum. What I saw at recess. People were playing on the playground. Yay. Let's check out this balloon piece. I just know I've seen a pink balloon around. Found on windowsill of hallway window. Okay. During the recess, I went to the restroom. There is a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway. As I entered, I saw that detective buying something from the vending machines. This is a strange building layout, I must point out. Why is the restroom there? But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. A detective that goes missing while on duty. That sounds mighty suspicious to me! Your Honor, could you please try to remain calm? Oh! I'm so used to simply listening to testimonies that I got caught up in the excitement. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to spoil your fun now. Going head to head with the judge. Yeah. They should board up that window. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. During the recess, I went to the restroom. Your Honor, why exactly did you pay a visit to the restroom, if I may ask? Why would you ask someone that? Oh? Well, isn't it obvious? What else do you go to the restroom for? Or maybe... I knew it. You suspect me of some sort of tomfoolery, don't you? But please stay calm, Your Honor. This is going to be much harder than I anticipated. I'm sorry. Aw, he does look sorry too, doesn't he? You're right. I need to think things through with a level head. I'm just nervous because so much has happened today with this trial. Let's see. I announced a recess and a time for us to reconvene. But having done all that, I still wasn't able to go to the restroom right away. And why couldn't you? Mr. Faraday had been accused, so I had paperwork to process regarding a new prosecutor. Once I had finished that, I was finally able to make a mad dash to the restroom. At least he stayed consistent on the going to the restroom part of his testimony. There is a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway. Oops, wrong button. Your Honor, did you really go to the men's restroom? What is the meaning of that statement? I simply mean that perhaps you went to a restroom on a different floor. I had to go for such a long time. It was all I could do to dash to the closest one to the courtroom. I suppose it's only natural, given his circumstances. I ran from the courtroom through this floor's main lobby and down the hallway. Once you enter, you can see there's a window just above the urinals. And it was through that window that you witnessed Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor. Yes, exactly! Your Honor, there is no need to yell. I can hear you just fine. The judge is good. I like him. Oh, I guess I put a little too much into that last answer. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. As I entered, I saw that detective buying something from the vending machines. Are you sure that the person you witnessed was Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor? Yes, I'm absolutely sure. It's hard to miss someone of his stature, even from as far away as the restroom. Besides, I can't think of anyone else with that kind of hairstyle and big beige coat. Well, I was simply wondering if you were mistaken in what you saw. What? Preposterous! My eyes are sharp as can be, ready to see through lies to the truth. Although recently, things do seem to be a bit fuzzier than they used to be. Clearly his eyes are not the only things that have gone fuzzy. But allow me to say, with all the honour and dignity of a judge, I am not mistaken in what I saw. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. He disappeared. But Your Honour, didn't you just say, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines? Why yes I did. The restroom window looks over the courtyard and right into the hallway. But, just as I was about to exit, I took another look, and there was no one in sight. That led me to the only solution to this mystery. That detective must have gone into the crime scene, lobby number 2 at that point! So, he looked into the hallway from the restroom, and over the courtyard, did he? A detective that goes missing while on duty. That sounds mighty suspicious to me! It appears that His Honour could not have been mistaken in what he saw. I suppose so, given his line of sight. However, Franziska, why do you suppose our lines of sight are so different? If you're referring to my height... Can't you hold that whip still for just a second? Now, about His Honour's testimony. I believe his line of sight to be an important factor. If it's that important, why don't you hurry up and tell him already? I will, but there is one more thing I need to do if I am to correct His Honour's testimony. I am going to need to retrace Detective Gumshoe's movements. Your Honour, I ask that you please remain calm. No, I'm perfectly calm. I'm perfectly calm. You're being anything but perfectly calm. Ah, okay. That was all you had to say about that one? Okay, so... It completely disappeared. Alright, so what am I pointing out here? So I guess he didn't actually fall asleep on the bench. You know, I assumed the worst of Gumshoe, didn't I? But he was just sitting down, sharing a couple Swiss rolls. So what happens if we get this wrong, actually? I want to see what the judge says. Judge. That statement right now contradicts with this piece of evidence. Really? Your Honour, by my account, there is absolutely no contradiction here at all. Really? Well then, I guess we're still alright. Please continue with the testimony. The two of them overruled me? At this rate, I will lose the truth to the darkness forever. I need to stay calm, think carefully, and find a flaw in his testimony. Fast. I was kind of hoping he would hand out a penalty. Alright. What was that finger wag for, Mr. Edgeworth? And don't you know it's rude to shout objection while someone is giving testimony? Ha! If you truly are a man of the law, then you must always be vigilant. For example, I, myself, never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by. Miles Edgeworth, it's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is real life. This is what some people may say is the pot calling the kettle black. Your Honour, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me. What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who is the culprit? That party is hereby found guilty of uncleanliness. If you must know, the uncouth bench sullier has already been placed under arrest, thanks to your earlier testimony, Your Honour. Oh? Well, that's good. But who was it? We were able to discover something from the smudge on the bench. Namely, Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints. Not happy with committing just murder, he had to go and dirty the courthouse too? Guilty! Your Honour, please calm down. Yeah, that sounds like fun, Tag. Armello would be fun to watch. While it's true that the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench, we have not yet established that this action is related to the double murder. What do you mean? I believe that the detective bought a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine, and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. The cake crumbs and pieces of chocolate on the floor under the bench, and Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusions to be true. Oh, but I still don't understand. Is this whole thing related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom? It is indeed. The window in the hallway was built rather high up into the wall, at around a grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit that Franziska herself was unable to see out of that window. Oh, you're gonna get whipped for that, Edgy. Yeah, there you go. That was a weird slow motion one. I knew I shouldn't have used her height as evidence. But basically, what this means is that the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot when the hallway is being viewed from the men's restroom. Then? It seems that you have made the connection. If someone were to sit on the bench under the window... Yes, even someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight. What? Do you finally see, Your Honor? Your testimony has just proven that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway the entire time. Did it, though? Ah, sorry. I didn't mean to say it with that much enthusiasm. All I wanted to do was try saying it once. Here, let me try that again. Hold it! Is there something of value that you'd like to say? Yes, actually there is. I remembered something else just now. Bet you have. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time. Even if we overruled him, he'd just keep on talking, wouldn't he? That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in a perfect investigation, right? What I saw, part 2. I suppose it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom window. However, that doesn't mean that the detective was sitting there when I looked. Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot. Ah, interesting. Judge has no calm. Yeah. How was that? That is the testimony of one who judges the crimes of others. Your Honor, could you try to state the important facts first next time? I agree. Before you go around judging others, you should learn to judge your own words. I'm sorry. But honestly, I thought that sound was just a noise popper until now. Now that he mentions it, right before we restarted the trial, he did talk about that. Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson. The most critical point in this argument is when did the judge look into the hallway? And whether that lines up with when the gun was actually fired. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to clarify a few details in your testimony. Yeah, there's 5 cases in this one. Yeah, it says on the box art, actually. Investigate 5 new cases as Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, popular rival of Phoenix Wright. Oh, hi, Cat. Where did you come from? Hello, sweetie. Yeah, so there's still a lot of unanswered questions. I assume that there's a lot to learn about the smuggling ring. Who was that in the first case that held us up at gunpoint? We haven't found that out yet. And we haven't found out exactly why Lang hates prosecutors. I think we've got all those things to learn still. Hello, cat. Oh, she's so cute. Sorry, I have to pat her. Yeah, she's so cute. You're also hungry, aren't you? Should probably feed her soon, shouldn't I? You know, this won't be a good time to feed her, actually, before we dive into this testimony. Alright, I shall go feed the cat. Hello. And I'll get some more water, too, while I'm up. And here is the cat. There's a cat. Hello, baby. How you doing? Yeah. Give you pets. You're so cute. Alright, it's past her dinner time, so I'm gonna feed her. Okay, I shall be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Oh yeah, I should probably get some music playing. There you go. I shall be back. Oh yeah, I came back to my favourite music, it's so good! Just gonna leave it going for a little while I drink some water. Thank you, Tag. You could just do more single streams to show off some games. Yeah, that's a good idea. That'll be fun. Okay, we got to get back to the video game. Oh, that music's so good. Okay. Alright, I'm not sure how much longer is left in this segment of the case, but we'll keep going until I need to stop. Until my voice is getting sore. Alright, what I saw, part 2. I suppose it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom window. Hang on. I've got to press that. Hold it! In that case, do you concede that you were overconfident in your last testimony? Now, hold on there! We're not trying to defeat the judge. I just said that it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom this time. But you know something? I don't think you know when the prints you referenced were left on that bench, do you? While you have proven that it's possible the detective was sitting, I still have a problem with just when those fingerprints were left. He's right, I have yet to prove when the fingerprints were left on that bench. While he feigns ignorance, His Honor has seen a lot of life. This judge, I mustn't underestimate him. Yeah, what's weird about this case is that I kind of can't think of any other suspects. I mean, you and Detective Bad have alibis with each other unless they were both in on it? Finally someone's sticking it to the judge. However, that doesn't mean that the detective was sitting there when I looked. As we established, you went to the restroom during the recess. However, at what point in the recess did you look into that hallway? After I called for a recess, I handled the change of prosecutor paperwork. Maybe about 20 minutes until we reconvened. Yes, that sounds about right. Just as I expected. What were you expecting? I demand to know what that all-knowing smile is for. Your Honor, that statement you made just now is very important. I'd like for you to append it to your testimony. Alright, if you insist. Who got killed again? The previous prosecutor for this case, and a was it the suspect or was it the defendant or a witness? I forget. Hang on. Can't look at profiles at the moment. Okay, so I just put the heater on because it's getting cold in here. And it looks like it is sometimes getting picked up by my mic, so I'm going to reset my noise filter. Just be a second. Okay, how does that sound? Does it sound weird? Does it sound good? If it sounds weird, I'll just redo it. Okay. Okay, so this statement's important, so I'm going to come back to this and look at the rest of it first. Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. Sounds exactly the same? Sounds okay? Good, good. Very good. If it's something that forgettable, I don't need to hear it. But all I did was forget to mention it. That sort of excuse may work on other people, but not on a von Karma. Oh! But it's such an important piece of testimony. Please give me a chance to present it. I suppose I have no choice in the matter. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot. Your Honour, about what you just said. I know! I couldn't believe it myself. Bang when the gunshot... Wow. He's got a bit of old bag going on. Like this, just like this. Yes, with a quick ah! Your Honour, please remain calm when you're trying to explain yourself to me. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Now then, I must gather myself, yes. When I heard the gunshot, there was no one in the hall. I should know. I looked. There was no one there! This judge's emotion circuits appear to be stuck on overreact. I believe that we've finally found the flaw in His Honour's testimony. Yet sadly, he's completely oblivious to it. But I guess I can't really expect him to be aware of it. Well, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and fill him in. At least that thing finally came in handy. Indeed. Now let's see what happens when I present it to His Honour. There. Let's see. I looked into that hallway about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. 20 minutes before we reconvened. Very well. What did you do after that? Let's see. I had to make some preparations, so I rushed straight back to the courtroom. I also had to track down a few pieces of paperwork for the various bailiffs. So you rushed back to the courtroom, despite having just heard a gunshot? Well, at the time, I thought it was just the sound of a noise popper. I really couldn't think of any other explanation than someone having a birthday party. But now that this has happened... A birthday party in the courthouse. Sure. I see. Thinking back, the judge did mention something to that effect when we reconvened. Alright, so this doesn't really line up with when when Detective Bad claims he heard the gunshot. Gallantly present. Gallantly present the evidence. Hadn't saved in a while, so might as well save. Alright, Detective Bad's testimony. Oh, got it. You heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. You're on. I cannot allow you to make an objection. What? Your Honour, I'm really sorry, but I cannot allow you to not allow me to make an objection. Yes, I've been overruled. Your Honour, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste. What do you mean by that? You claim that you heard the gunshot during the recess, but that is simply not possible. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred von... Instead of biting your tongue, why don't you do something? Eek. I see you have no mercy for the elderly either, Franziska. Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back. With your height, you'd need a stepladder or 4 to accomplish that. Mr. Edgeworth, my ears are not that far gone yet, I'll have you know. I can still hear just fine. And I heard the sound of a gunshot loud and clear with my own 2 ears. Ha! Your Honour, I have here an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad, and according to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. What did you just say? Your Honour, you just said that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. How do you explain this glaring contradiction? That can't be! Unfortunately, that is the truth. But I heard it clear as day. Bang! The loud sound of a gunshot. Sound of the gunshot. We keep returning to this point of contention. And that piece of evidence. I always did wonder why I found it where I did. It was the popping of the balloon. In a courthouse like this with judges like these, a birthday party isn't too crazy. That's a good point. However, now I understand what that gunshot the judge heard really was. Unfortunately, Your Honor, this is what really produced the gunshot you heard. My badge. Miles Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're trying to say with that piece. Franziska, you're just still too young to understand. Stop trying to fool me and start being mature enough to admit when you're wrong. Perhaps that was not the piece I needed to show. Take that! I found this object in the hallway earlier. But what is that pink substance? It may not look it, but this is actually a piece of a balloon. I see. And I suppose you would like me to accept that pink balloon into the court record. It made the noise. Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony. What? Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshot. Now, there is no guarantee that the detective was sitting on the bench at that time. Therefore, you believe he must have been at the crime scene, defendant lobby number 2. Am I correct? Yes, that's exactly right. Let me ask you something. Do you think that the gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think I've said enough that even you can figure the rest out on your own. Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot. He said he thinks you've said enough and then he explained it anyway. What manner of trickery is this? That was a good effort you put forth, Miles Edgeworth. But if it was me, I'd have wrapped this thing up before the judge even testified. Care to elaborate on how one ends something before it even begins? Well, to be honest, I did think that the sound was a bit off from a real gunshot sound. But who could have guessed that someone would pop a balloon in a place like this? That's true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with courthouse. I want to trade these coins with you. That's it. That balloon that girl was holding. It explains everything. Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony. However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy. Oh, who knew that giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do? Oh, I want to give him a hug. What have I done? I owe Detective Gumshoe a very, very big apology. I will see to it myself that he is released. Wait. There are still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I request your permission to further question Detective Gumshoe. But why? I thought we just cleared his name. Whether we did just now or not, I still cannot say. The only thing I can do for now is to continue in my quest for the perfect explanation. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the events that occurred in the hallway. Very well. Bailiff, please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom. I must fulfill my mission and find the perfect explanation to this case. District Court, courtroom number 3. What is it now? Is it time for my trial already? I've already told you a gazillion times, pal. I didn't do it. I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe. No, you won't. I'll be the judge of that. No. I'm the judge around here, and I'll be the judge of that. Why can't you guys be a little less judgmental? Yes, well, speaking of hasty judgments, Detective Gumshoe, I'm afraid I must apologize for an error in judgment on my part. Your Honor, I don't believe you should apologize just yet. We have yet to prove he is completely innocent of this crime. I guess so. What are you guys talking about? In any case, I would like you to testify as to your actions while you were on guard duty. And please remember, you are not on trial. This is all just part of the investigation. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony... Meow! My whip will object, loud and clear. If you are found to be lying, you will be held indefinitely. Understood? I gotcha, pal. Thinking back on the state of the crime scene and the judge's testimony, it's obvious that Detective Gumshoe is lying. And if I can't break his lie, then we may never get a break in this case. I love Gumshoe's eyes and that little face-off thing. While I was on duty, I came down here to this courthouse on Detective Bad's orders. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. From that time on, until I heard the gunshot, I was in that hallway the whole time. On my honour as a detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal. He's still singing the same tired tune. In that case, I'll just have to change the melody. I know he's lying, and it's time I pulled the information I need out of him. I came down here to this courthouse on Detective Bad's orders. So, was it really Detective Bad who called you down here? You bet it was, pal. I was left in charge of the precinct while everyone was out, and this call comes in. I want you down here in 1 minute flat, he said. Well, I thought this was my big chance, my first case, so I made a mad dash down here. Although, I couldn't exactly get here in a minute flat. So how long did it take you? About 10 minutes, I guess. And what was Detective Bad doing when you finally made it? He was waiting for me down on the first floor in the entranceway, pal. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. And by he, you mean... Detective Bad, of course. And this being my first time at this courthouse. He also walked with me up to the 3rd floor hallway in front of the defendant lobbies. And did you meet anyone along the way? Well... Just as we entered the hallway, we ran into Miss Yu. When he heard from Miss Yu that Mr. Faraday was not to be interrupted, that's when Detective Bad told me to stand guard in the hallway, pal. So far, Detective Gumshoe's testimony is matching up with Detective Bad's. Just gonna drink some water. From that time on, until I heard the gunshot, I was in that hallway the whole time. You claim to have been in that hallway the whole time. However, is it not a fact that you did something while you were in that hallway? Of course I did something. I guarded the door to lobby number 2, pal. What else? Very well then. What exactly does guarding that door entail? Well, to put it simply... Oh, I know. It was my job to stand in front of the door without moving an inch. Oh? Detective Gumshoe, you mean to tell me that you didn't take a single step away from the door to lobby number 2? Is that really what you wish to testify to the effect of? You got it, pal! Well, backed him into a corner, didn't we? Set a little trap. I didn't take a single step away from that door, just like I was ordered not to. What? Why is everyone so quiet all of a sudden? Because we are all in shock, and in awe of your utter stupidity. Scruffy, if you're going to lie, at least tell us a more believable one. Ouch! But I'm not lying. I should hurry up and bring this insipid testimony to a close. And until I heard the gunshot, I didn't take a single step away from the lobby number 2 door. We got some new testimony. On my honour as a detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal. Would you also be willing to swear that there was no one else in that hall besides you? What are you talking about? I just swore to you that I was doing my job, pal. Oh, then what are you acting so nervous for? What? I'm not nervous at all, pal. Anyway, not a single person other than myself was in that hall the whole time. I should just let it go. Pursuing this train of thought at this time would just be a waste of time. To have such a foolishly foolish contradiction in such a foolishly foolish testimony is just plain old foolish. Indeed. However, in the pursuit of the perfect investigation, I'm afraid we have to deal with it. By squashing it under the weight of the evidence. And until I heard the gunshot, I didn't take a single step away from the lobby number 2 door. I'm only going to ask you one more time, Detective Gumshoe. Are you sure you stood in front of the door to lobby number 2 the entire time? Yup. After I was told to by Detective Bad, I stood guard in front of that door without a single break. So believe me when I say that I was in that hallway the whole time already, pal. Well, why did everyone go quiet all of a sudden again? Apparently, someone has a bit of trouble reading between the lines. Well, what's that supposed to mean? I don't... Be quiet. Ouch. I should hurry up and bring this insipid testimony to a close. Yes, I should, by presenting my badge. There is clearly a contradiction here. There is? Do you not recognize that there is one? Not at all, pal. I see. In that case, I retract what I said. Why can't you ever just admit when you're wrong? He has trouble with that. Urgh, curses. I can't keep on doing this. I must regain my composure and think it through again. There. Well, now we show that he ate the food. Objection! I have an objection. What is it, pal? Detective Gumshoe, I wonder if you might recognize this from somewhere. Hey, it's one of those things. The courthouse special Swiss rolls, right, pal? Precisely. And in that case, I suppose, that you also recall the sullied hallway bench? Hey, you know what? I think it was probably me that did that. Detective Gumshoe, you know that you can't go around dirtying up the courthouse like this. You inconsiderate, slovenly pig. Eric, I promise to clean it up later, I swear. Now then, shall we get down to business? About the fact that you didn't move even a single step from in front of that door. If that really were the case, then how were you able to buy a pack of Swiss rolls? Oh. Furthermore, if you didn't move a single step from in front of that door, how did you manage to get the bench dirty with your grubby hands? Ouch. It appears that Franziska's whip can do more damage than my words alone can. Oh, alright, I confess, pal. I was hungry, so I bought a pack for myself, okay? I thought I'd get chewed out again if anyone found out about me eating on the job. So I didn't want to say anything. Well, unfortunately for you, I saw you do the whole dastardly deed. I clearly saw you buying a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine. Oh, okay, I'm sorry for lying. But that's all I'm sorry for, you got that? Because I'm not holding anything else back. That last statement, it may sound like it makes sense. However, there is something I don't quite believe about it. Are you sure you're not withholding further information from us? Huh? Of course not. I've got nothing else to hide, pal. Oh, if only that were true, Detective Gumshoe. But it is true, pal. I swear there's nothing else. Detective Gumshoe, I'm sure you are aware of the price of a pack of Swiss rolls, correct? Huh? Remind me again, pal. That vending machine out in the hallway is selling packs of 2 Swiss rolls for $6 a pack. Oh. And yet, according to you, You didn't have any cash on you until you cashed your $5 annual bonus check. Isn't that right? Oh. Let me ask then, how you managed to purchase a pack all by yourself? Can you provide me with a proper explanation to that? I told you, I bought it by myself, pal. There wasn't anyone else in that hallway with me, so there's no one who could have helped me buy it. Wait, don't tell me. You've got some kind of proof that there was someone else in the hallway, don't you? Correct. As if you could. I mean, what are the chances of that? Wait. You do? Of course I do. What? How? What proof do I have that there must have been someone else there in the hallway? My badge. Take that. What the heck is that? I knew you didn't really have anything. You prosecutors are all the same, always lying to people. You should stop, you know. I refuse to be lectured by the likes of you, Detective. Miles, how long do you plan on being strung along by this moronic detective? I have no intention of falling for his lie, because there was definitely a second person. Because if he was truly alone all along, then that piece of evidence should not exist. The balloon. Take that. What the heck is that? Heh, I knew you didn't really have anything. Oh, really? It wasn't the balloon? Oh, it wasn't the balloon! Okay. It wasn't the balloon! Okay, well what was it then? The Swiss roll that got dropped. Hey, you showed that to me not 2 seconds ago, pal. Ah, I think you're under the mistaken impression that I bought this pack of rolls. Wait, if you didn't buy it, then that means you must have stolen it, you thief! But I would never do such a thing. All you liars are the same. You start out as thieves. You're under arrest, pal. I believe you meant to assert that all thieves start out as liars. And in that case, what does that say about you, Detective? Oh. Ooh, that wordplay. Wrecked him. This particular Swiss roll was dropped by a certain someone. Oh. There were 2 rolls in this package. You ate one of them. But you then gave the other one to a certain other person, didn't you? And then I saved my game. So I haven't saved in a while, so... Save our game. No way, pal. You've got it all wrong. I ate both of them. Yeah. Ooh, dodged. It would appear that we've caught you at last. Hey, don't you dare do anything bad to that girl. It would appear that they do know each other after all. So, why do you continue to come up to me and kick me? Have I wronged you somehow? I love her fighting stance. She's ready to go. Well, my friend Lauren mentioned she wanted an Ace Attorney fighting game. And, I mean, this belongs in a fighting game right here. I have a name, and it's Kay. Kay what? Kay Faraday. Faraday? Are you perhaps Mr. Faraday's daughter? I'm not a you, I'm Kay. Kay? You know, good little girls don't kick other people. Especially not hard enough to leave big nasty bruises like the way you do. Well, then you shouldn't have put Gummy under arrest, mister. Gummy? My guess is that she's talking about Detective Gumshoe. What a cute nickname you've given him. Gummy didn't do anything wrong. So that's where the Gummy nickname came from. Nice. Okay. It appears that I will need to speak with her in a bit more detail. Rawr! I like her. It appears that we've caught you red-handed eating a Swiss roll. Look, I'm sorry about lying to you, pal. And do you have nothing else to say? Sure do. It was so fluffy, and sweet, and big. Ah, it was perfection, pal. And totally worth every penny of my bonus. I see. Well, good for you, Detective. I can't believe it, but it's almost funny when a fool is this unbelievably foolish. Oh dear. Oh. What is the matter, Your Honour? I claim to hand down fair verdicts, but I unfairly cast suspicion on the big fella. If this had been a trial just now, I would have destroyed his life. I am the guilty one. We all make mistakes, Your Honour. To err is human, to forgive divine, as they say. Although, if you were to make a mistake during a trial, then it would be quite unforgivable. Dr. Frenny. Yes, what is it? That girl. She seems to know that scruffy detective. Maybe she knows something about him that we don't. Agreed. However, she seems to be rather uncooperative at the moment. She's like a stray alley cat. I wonder what would happen if we fed her. Perhaps I will try feeding her. Give her the Swiss roll. Okay. Any new dialogue here? Alright, this looks the same as before. Let her leave? Okay. Now then, Kay. Kay's great. She's like a stray cat. I wonder if I should feed her something. Feed her the badge. She swatted it back at me. Rawr! Miles, I demand that you do something to calm her down this instant. I wonder if I should feed her something. This game's great. Okay, I promise to give this to you if you calm down. Oh, a Swiss roll! It really belongs to you, though, doesn't it? Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy. Aww. And suddenly I'm sad. Oh, my. Your father. He's... Oh, don't you say another word, pal. She doesn't know yet. Thanks for watching out for me, Gummy. But I already know about Daddy. I overheard the guards talking. Aw. About how he's not here anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't protect him. Okay. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna. Aw. Cry. It's alright. Let it all out. Your father just passed away, after all. I myself was also involved in a case at this courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away. All of my dreams of becoming a lawyer were crushed into fine ash on that nightmarish day. Even now, the wound festers deep in the depths of my soul. Ever since that incident, I've dedicated myself to locking away every criminal I can. And now, to have this happen right in front of me. This child, I feel a certain shared fate, a common bond between us. Miles Edgeworth, what sort of gentleman are you? Are you going to just stand there and watch a lady cry? Ah, you're right. Sorry about that. Okay. Here, how about we use this handkerchief here and dry your little eyes? Oh. Should this be the thumbnail, or should this be a surprise for people when they watch? Honk! Ugh, my cravat! Don't blow your nose on that! I feel better now. Thanks. Screenshot, you want that? Alright, I'll get a screenshot for you. Yeah, I'll take a screenshot from the VOD for you. Okay, are you going to be alright? Yep, I'm already alright. Somehow, I highly doubt that, but I'm not going to push it. I promised Daddy I'd never cry in front of strangers. And you're a good kid, aren't you, Kay? You always keep your promises, right? That's right. Even if I can't see Daddy anymore, I'm still going to keep all my promises. You're a very brave girl, Kay. You're a very good child for keeping the promises you made to your papa. I'll even testify that you didn't cry, just for you. Thank you very much, lady. It's nothing. I'm only telling the truth, after all. It would appear that because her father was a respected prosecutor, Franziska is sympathetic to Kay's feelings. Actually, let's talk to other people first. I forgot to talk to other people. It appears that we've... same dialogue. He doesn't take it off. Yeah! He left it on. Ew. Yuck. Judge. Oh, same thing? Alright. Frenny. New dialogue. It looks like the girl has finally calmed down. Yes, I believe I can take my time and talk with her now. It's so disrespectful for a child like that to be running around inside the courthouse. Does no one have respect for this country's judicial system anymore? Didn't Mr. Von Karma say the exact same thing earlier? But Franziska, I don't think you two are that far apart in terms of age. I'm about to become a prosecutor, so understand that I'm nothing like that little girl. Let's assume he just took out a new one from his pocket and put it on. You can totally see him having spares with him. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Let's save. I don't know if I've saved in a while, so... Impulsive saver. So much for a perfect trial. Check out my badge. Oh, Daddy showed this to me before. Well, he was a prosecutor too, so it's only natural that he had one as well. Daddy would pin this badge on me a lot, just for fun. Pinning a prosecutor's badge on a child for fun. Daddy said that if he put it on his clothes, a scary prosecutor would get mad. He also said that the scary prosecutor said it was more fashionable to not wear it. I wonder who that scary prosecutor could be. I wonder, could Kate be talking about Mr. Von Karma? Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, you failed by 1 second for that Spyro challenge? Oh, my condolences. That looks so hard. You'll get it soon though, Tag. She's got anything to say? Okay, about this. Huh? Are you giving it to me? But... I promised Daddy that I wouldn't take things from strangers. I'm sorry. It's alright. I wasn't intending to give it to you anyway. Oh, okay. Guess I thought wrong. Miles, even if you show that to her, she isn't going to magically know all about it. I suppose you're right. Balloon. Ah, okay. I'm probably skipping ahead. I'm probably not meant to ask her about the balloon piece yet. Swiss roll. I came here with Daddy for his work, and I wanted to eat with him. Daddy. She looks so sad and lost. I can't bring myself to make her recall any more about today's events. So I'm going to ask her about today's events. Okay, what kind of person was your father? Daddy was a hero of justice. His job was to catch all the bad people in the world. So, to you, a prosecutor is a hero of justice, huh? I suppose we are in a sense, as we are the ones who seek guilty verdicts for criminals. Plus, you know what? Whenever I came to the courthouse, Daddy would buy me my absolute favourite treat, Swiss rolls. Oh? I want to be a hero of justice someday, just like Daddy. So I've been working really hard. I see. And what have you been working hard on? I've been working hard to keep all the promises Daddy and I made together. Ah. A promise notebook? May I take a look inside, Kay? Sure, okay. It appears to be an exchange diary of sorts between father and daughter. Mr. Faraday's writing conveys a sense of the kind of man he was. This little notebook just might come in handy later. Thank you for showing it to me, Kay. I hope you'll continue to work hard and become a hero, just like your father. I'm gonna try. Hey, Kay. So, I'm a detective that catches the bad people, right? That makes me a hero too. Yeah, you're really cool too, Gummy. Yeah, aren't I, Kay? What is with the two of them? I hand down verdicts of justice, so that makes me a hero too. Yes, and thanks to your oh-so-heroic testimony. You almost painted that detective as a vile criminal and sent him off to jail. Oh, I'm really sorry about that. Gummy is not a bad man, okay? That poor judge. He's being treated like a vile criminal rather than a hero of justice. It appears that you and Detective Gumshoe are good friends, Kay. Yeah, we're friends. In that case, would you mind telling me a little more about him? Prosecutor K for AAI 3. Yeah, that would be great. So, I take it that you ran into Detective Gumshoe earlier? Yep. I was on my way to see Daddy when I saw Gummy standing there. He was standing in the hallway staring really hard at the vending machine, so I said hi. And when was this? Huh? Oh, before everything got crazy. How long were the two of you together? We only talked for a little while, and then we went on our own ways. That's right, pal. Kay and I only talked for a little while, and that's it. Oh? Which means we have now confirmed that Kay was in the hallway during the recess. Isn't that right? Oh, you got me. I told you to stop picking on Gummy, mister. Very well then. I'll just have to speak with the good detective in private later. She's gonna kick our butts. Literally. Were you the one who bought this pack of Swiss rolls, Kay? Well, I didn't really have a lot of money, and I somehow made $1 out of all the pennies and quarters I had. But that still wasn't enough, and I really wanted one. Come to think of it, she did come and ask me to exchange a handful of change for $1. And that's when you came and asked me to change your money, correct? Yeah, thanks a bunch for doing that, mister. Sure. But let me ask you, even with that $1, you still didn't have enough, correct? Well, that's why. Hey, if you bully Kay anymore, I'm gonna have to arrest you, pal. Need I remind you that you're the one already under arrest? Yo! I sense that Kay is going to be less than forthcoming with this question. Sorry about your roughly thing. Yes, well, now that it's positively drenched in your nasal mucus. Don't worry, Kay, I have a spare. He does have a spare. So here, you can have this one. But Daddy said, never take things from a stranger. Ah, it's one of the promises you made in your promise notebook, correct? Yeah, look, see? It's right here on this page. Ah. Kay's promises to Daddy. Promise 1, never take things from a stranger. Promise 2, never go anywhere with a stranger. Alright then, I'm not giving this to you. I'm merely allowing you to borrow it. You can take it home, wash it nice and clean, and then give it back to me next time we meet. Okay. Daddy never said I couldn't borrow things from strangers. He does carry a spare. Oh my god. Wow. The law in this series. Edgeworth law. She kind of failed Promise 2 pretty hard. Yeah. Now then, Detective Gumshoe. Uh-oh. I believe it is now crystal clear that you were with little K in that hallway. Oh. Grr. I told you to stop being mean to Gummy. Miles Edgeworth, there is still something you have yet to resolve. I beg your pardon? You still haven't offered an explanation for why that man would lie to us. That's... well... Gummy, don't tell me you lied for my sake. Hey, don't worry about it, Kay. Everything's gonna be okay. Ah, so that's why. So, what was Detective Gumshoe's motive for lying? If you can't explain that, then you can't call this a perfect investigation. His reason for lying is very simple. What? Here is what I believe to be his reason. From simple observation of the detective's actions and his interactions with Kay, it's obvious the detective was lying for the young girl's sake. And this piece of evidence will show you exactly why, as I save my video game. Which piece of evidence proves that Detective Gumshoe was lying on account of Kay? Bench? This is that piece of evidence. What are you showing me that for? It doesn't seem to add anything to the conversation. I don't get what you're trying to say with that. Or do you just like showing it off? Are you gonna give that to me, mister? I don't feel that the court needs to enter that into the court record at this time. What is wrong with everyone? Why are they all teasing me all of a sudden? Although, it's possible that perhaps I made a mistake, and that's why. Now then, back to the topic at hand. Detective Gumshoe lied for Kay's sake. And I know I hold the evidence which shows the reason why. We didn't take damage. Could I be out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong. Alright, I want to read this. I haven't read the Promise Notebook. Exchange diary between Mr. Faraday and Kay. Alright, we saw page 1, but there's more. Promise 3. Always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Promise 4. Never cry in front of strangers. Promise 5. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. Daddy's job is to make sure that everyone follows the rules. Kay, be a good girl and promise that you'll keep your promises to me, okay? Love, your daddy. She broke the promise to never take things from a stranger because she took a role from Gumshoe. Badge adds everything to the conversation. Stylish, unique, savvy. It sticks to things. Indeed. Agreed. Mr. Faraday and Kay's Promise Notebook? How does this explain anything? If you could take a look at this page, it's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Detective Gumshoe heard about that promise, he tried to cover for Kay. What a foolishly foolish fool's fool of a foolish reason for a fool! Oh. Gummy, you lied because of me, didn't you? Because I'm your friend, Kay. That's why. Gummy! At long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now? Guess there's no beating you, huh, pal? Okay, I'll spill the goods. I've been standing guard for a while. I was getting really hungry, and that snack vending machine was taunting me. But all the cash you had on you was $5, and that wasn't enough to buy anything, right? After all, the cheapest item in that machine is a $6 pack of Swiss rolls. Yeah, but then, like an angel from heaven, Kay showed up. I was thinking about sharing a snack with Daddy, so I wanted to buy a Swiss roll. But I only had about $1 in coins. So we pulled my $5 and her $1 together, and bought a pack of Swiss rolls together. But I was worried about breaking one of my promises. So then Gummy said, Mr. Faraday's one scary guy when he gets mad. But don't worry, you won't get in trouble if I don't tell, right? Besides, you bought it with me. So you didn't really get it from me, you know? He told me it'd be okay. And he gave me a whole roll to save and give to Daddy. Who knew that Scruffy could be so considerate? Indeed. And he was willing to risk getting pronounced guilty for murder, or getting put on trial for murder, to protect Kay. Gumshoe's too pure for this world. Detective, I take it that you then sat down on the bench and ate the rolls together. Yeah, we split the other roll and ate it right then. The sweet taste of that cake's chocolate. I'll never forget it as long as I live, pal. Anyway, Kay, I believe this also belongs to you. Oh, that's from the balloon I popped. It's bad manners to leave garbage lying around, Kay. I'm sorry. Well, I guess I can't blame you for not throwing this one piece away. It was sitting high up on a windowsill where you couldn't see it. So just this once, I forgive you. But that balloon, I wanted to surprise Gummy a little, so I popped it on purpose. And because of me, Gummy dropped his half of the Swiss roll. Aww. Wow, you really got me there, pal. So I thought maybe I should give Gummy this other roll. And then I saw you picking on Gummy, mister. So you kicked me, is that it? You sure are a feisty one. I'm really sorry, mister. It's alright, I'm perfectly unharmed. But about this Swiss roll, would it be alright with you if I held on to it until Detective Gumshoe is cleared of all charges and free to go? Yeah, sure. Just make sure you give it to Gummy afterwards, okay? Of course, I promise. Now then, I believe we have proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway for the entire duration of his duty, which undeniably proves that Detective Gumshoe could not have committed the double murders. Actually, it proves just the opposite, Edgeworth. You've just shown that Detective Gumshoe is the only one who could have committed the crime. What do you mean? It's quite rude to eavesdrop, Miss You. I'm getting lectured on manners by a girl with a penchant for whipping people. What? How dare you talk back with such insolence? You're wrong, lady. Gummy's not the bad guy. Oh, and what have we here? What is the child doing here in the courthouse? Bailiff, please take this child in. No! What? Miss Callisto, you! That girl is Mr. Faraday's. I know. So what? You think that just because she's the victim's daughter, she gets to just run wild all around the crime scene? I think it's actually quite dangerous for her, to speak nothing of getting underfoot. I suppose you're right. However, as long as we're in agreement on that point, let's get back to the real issue at hand. Now then, Detective, you were in front of the door to lobby number 2 the entire time, correct? Yeah, but... You see? Isn't it obvious that it could only be the detective? He is the only person who could have gone into lobby number 2 at the time of the murders. Oh, I have no counter-argument to that. Don't worry, I've already put in the necessary paperwork for his formal arrest. Yeah, but the investigation is far from over. Oh, that's right. I was going to speak with you about that. Don't you think it's reckless to talk to the suspect out in the open without a guard? I suppose it is. Well, as someone with more experience in law than you, allow me to share something. Always keep a good eye on a criminal, or you may regret what comes of your negligence. Ooh, Miles, I can't believe you're letting this woman lecture you like this. This is unforgivable as a disciple of Von Karma. Down, Tigress. Now then, I'll be looking forward to the results of your investigation. So, we're back to square one. Actually, this is our last chance. I can tell that if we fail to solve this case, Detective Gumshoe will be formally charged under all of the circumstantial evidence. This investigation is not over yet. There's still one location we have yet to inspect. The first lobby. It's where Detective Bad and Miss Yu were at the time of the crime. Lobby number 1. Nice. Did that kid see her dad's corpse? Oh, I hope not. I hope not. I don't think she did. She knew he's dead because she overheard guards talking, so she didn't say that she saw him, so hopefully not. The judge is the guard. Alright, well, that's a good stopping point. It's 7:20, so I'm going to have some food. And we will come back and maybe finish this next time. I'll just see what the save file says about this. Yeah, I assume the next part is the last one. Yeah, we're checking out the defendant lobby number 1. Nice. Hang on, so let me reset the game. End part 1. Oh, okay. Never mind. There's like 2 more parts to go. Alright. We might not finish it next time then, but we'll get some more progress done. Okay. Is anyone streaming I would like to host? My following page isn't working. Yeah. Never mind. Alright, thank you all for watching. That was fun. I'm enjoying this case actually. I like it a lot. So I'll see you all next time. See yous.